Hey guys, good morning. Welcome to the second week of May. So we're going to give you a little information for the week of May 11th to May 15th. I got a chance to grade some of your explainer videos that were turned in a little bit early, and then right before I made this video, I took a look at a handful of them just to kind of get a clue of how you're doing. And oh my God, they're so funny. They're so good. So thank you so much for putting the effort into that and doing that. I'll make sure that I grade those and I give you some comments like I always do on some of your stuff. I'm sure you can tell by now with our grading what we're really trying to do is if you're going to do the work, I want to make sure I give you credit for it. But please make sure you read the comments, because in the comments, if you do have some things that you're a little bit off on, I am going to tell you in the comments what it was that you could do a little bit of a better job with, or if you missed something like in the PJ's ad or something like that. So I'll get those explainer videos graded for you probably on Monday or Tuesday. So I just wanted to go over this coming week with you. So what we've got going on is we've got this online learning plan today. I'm going to give you a little more information on our digital marketing section and also talking about SEO versus search marketing. So we want to take a little bit of a look at that. After that, we're going to have a 2-minute video activity for you that's going to be due on Friday. It's just going to clarify some of the stuff I'm going to say today and also give you an opportunity if you want to go back and rewatch that video. 2-minute video, couple questions, done and done. And then this week, what we want to take a look at is not so much an activity like we have been doing where we've had your creativity infused in it, but what we want to take a look at is we want to take a look at some stuff called data analysis. Now in that data analysis, we're going to start out with analyzing the performance, that's the word I'm looking for, of 3 different websites. And we're going to do that in our web metrics activities. So those are the activities that we have going on for today. So let's take a little bit of a look and see what we've got going on with our digital marketing when we talk about SEM versus SEO. Now, when you talk about SEM versus SEO, what we're talking about on the left is search engine marketing. And what we're talking about on the right is going to be search engine optimization. So we want to make sure that we take a look at these two and make sure that you understand what we have going on between those. So a lot of times what we're going to refer to is we're going to say that it's going to be social media marketing versus search marketing, or they might call it social media marketing versus search engine optimization. We've talked about this a little bit in class because I feel like in 2020, nothing anymore is straight print ad old school or straight new wave digital marketing, that kind of thing. So we've talked about this a little bit. So some of you might remember a couple of the conversations that we've had. So when we take a look at the difference between them, in our search engine marketing, what we've got is that we have paid searches. So this is where we've got companies like Hilton and Marriott and McDonald's and Starbucks, for example, and they're going to buy Google AdWords so that when you search for local hamburger place or closest coffee shop to me or closest Starbucks, that they're going to be the ones that come up top on those Google searches. So when they purchase those Google AdWords, that's going to cost them money. Our problem with search is that, yeah, it's really awesome, but not every company can pay to have every single word come up every time you search for it. So what we have to do in that search engine marketing is a little bit of a mixture of buying Google AdWords and then a little bit of a mixture of what's called search engine optimization. In search engine optimization, what we want to do are take those keywords. So Starbucks, for example, it might be coffee house near me and coffee shop near me. Notice the difference. So we want to take those and then we embed them throughout all of our text that we've got and our articles and blogs and tags on photos and things like that on our entire website. And what's going to happen is that Google meta crawlers, when they go through our site, are going to pick up on those words, and the more hits we get, then the higher rating we're going to have, or ranking maybe is the better way to say it, on those Google pages. So you know at the bottom of Google, it's like, do you want to go to page 2, page 3, page 4 to see the results? Most of the time, we don't. Most of the time, we're only going to look at page 1. So let's take a look at the right side of the screen. So on the right side of the screen, we're talking about social media marketing. So that's the stuff that everybody dumps on millennials all the time. So that's what we're talking about with Instagram, with Twitter, with Facebook, with Pinterest, with LinkedIn, and all of these social networks. What companies are often going to find is that their social media marketing is kind of their voice and where they're interacting with their customers and with their consumers. So companies have to really figure out who do they want to be on social media and make sure that all of their posts kind of follow through with that company voice, or you might like the term brand image a little bit better. So if you want to do this activity real quick, if you actually just Google the phrase Orlando hotels, when you Google that, you're going to notice those results that come up, and you're going to see quite a few results that are going to come up on the map. I'm sure if you give it two thoughts, you're going to know that those companies had to pay to come up on the map. So then go below the map, and you're going to notice that you've got different Orlando hotel websites, probably Disney World hotel sites and stuff like that. And again, those companies have most likely paid to come up that close to underneath of the map. So currently Google, whenever we put in a location like that and a couple filters, it's going to come up for us with that map first, and then our other hits are going to come up below that. So what we want to take a look at with that is that that's probably going to be some of our Google AdWords those companies have paid for. And there's probably a chance maybe on page 2, maybe on page 3 that it was some good search engine optimization. But probably page 1 and page 2 was actually some pretty heavy duty Google AdWords that company actually paid for. So here's another quick example for you. So on the left, we've got that quick definition of what search engine optimization is going to be. So it's focused on getting your website to the top of that organic search results when the user searches keywords related to your business. So I did a quick sample for you, and I put in cabins in the Poconos. So you can kind of see I actually literally did it last week. So when I put that in, you can see over on the right, we've got cabins for rent, Pocono cabin rentals, Pocono mountain rentals, et cetera, and all of those companies would have paid money to come up on that map search when we would have done it. Let's take a look over here in the bottom left-hand corner. So these 4 rental cabin companies could have either embedded that phrase, cabins in the Poconos, in their website so that they come up, or again, they might have paid for Google AdWords. So what we're trying to show you right now is that this is more of a focus on search engine optimization. And then what we see with our social is more of that interacting with the customers. So when we take a look at the title of this, we know that both search engine optimization and social media marketing are both valuable. And the way that we know that's valuable is by looking at a section of Google Analytics. In the couple weeks ahead, we are going to do a lesson for you on Google Analytics. Almost all of your websites that you're going to right now are having Google Analytics run in the background. What that Google Analytics is going to be able to do is amazing, but it's going to analyze where your consumers have come from to find your website, how long they spent on your website, how many different people came to your website, and all kinds of really cool data. And it operates off of dashboards, so we can look at several different ways of looking at the data at one time. This is just one snapshot. What we're looking at right now are the results for one website, and we are looking at how different people got to the website. How did they find my website? So let's imagine that this website is the Brandywine Valley YMCA or something like that. What we can see in the red circle is that the red area from a Google organic search or from a direct search in red, that is going to be known as our search engine optimization. So Google Organic means that for the YMCA, I might have searched gyms in my area, fitness centers near me, or something like that. In the next one, number 2, where it is direct, in that case, somebody actually would have put in the website. So I think the website for the Brandywine Valley YMCA is like ymcabwv.org, something to that effect. So that's when you go on and you literally know the site that you want to go to. Look at how big those numbers actually are. So when people just searched for a gym in our area and the YMCA came up, we're almost at 10,000. When they literally typed in the YMCA address, it came up with 5,374. Now we're going to go down to social. So in green, we've got social right down here. So T.co in Google Analytics actually is going to stand for Twitter. So from Twitter, 1,106 people linked to our site. And on this one, this is a little bit dated. This says stumbleupon.com. I think that's still out there, but it could be something like Instagram, for example, or LinkedIn. 779 people got to our site from that. And then the last one that we have in this example is going to be coming from Facebook. So what that means is that they would have seen a post on Facebook for the Brandywine Valley YMCA, clicked on a link, and it took them to our actual website. So when we look at this all together with these 5 different things that we have going on, and if we tally up the visits that we have, we can definitely see that it's worthwhile for us as a company to make sure that we've got search engine optimization working really well, but it definitely makes sense that we want to spend some energy also on our social media marketing and making sure that we're connecting with consumers. So both facets of this are going to be a really big deal. In your activity that you're going to be asked to do this week called your web metrics lesson, it talks about 4 new vocabulary words for you. Obviously, you can see here in the middle of the screen that they're not challenging, but it could be something that you never thought about before. I thought these graphics might help you out a little bit. So your visitors are your original visitors that come to your website. So individual people. But then what we also have next is we talk about visits to your website. So visits to your website are represented by this one person, and they come back to your site again and again and again. So how many visits did they have? The next thing we're going to talk about are the page views. So if this person came to your website, how many different pages of your website did they take a look at? Did they get to your website and love what you had to say, so they went on a deep dive down through all of your shopping information or your nutrition information or sport information, whatever it is? And our last one is going to be our bounce rate. So the bounce rate is something we have to include, but your bounce rate is once somebody got to your site, did they stay there for a while and look at your pages? Or did they get to your site and realize, ooh, this isn't what I was looking for, and they jump off of it right away, which is going to be known as a bounce off of it right away. So a good bounce rate is actually 50% or less. It's maybe the only time that a 50% is good. All right, and then let's wrap it up for today. So to wrap it up, you're going to be asked in your web metrics calculation to work on 4 different calculations. So it's going to show you what your CPC budget is. That's your cost per click budget. How much is it costing you to spend in Google AdWords to get people to your site? Your next one is going to be calculating your visits over your visitors. And what we're trying to find out is, on average, do lots of different people come to your site, or do you have kind of the same people that are loyal to your site and come back again and again and again? Next one, we're going to talk about the page views divided by visits. And what that's going to show us is when people come to your site, do those people look at quite a few pages while you're there? And then your last one that we want to take a look at will be the calculation to find out how much money we're spending to get people to our site. I think you guys are going to do an amazing job this week. I'm here if you need me with anything. Please make sure you reach out if you don't understand the calculations, and have a great week. Take care.